Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hit 101. I hope I'm not live. I am in my bed. Of course, I am just putting some finishing touches on my resume. About to go start, job hunting. I know someone is going to try to block my path. It's not going to work there. And the harder you try, the more you make me consider plucking out those eyes. Muddy water indeed. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to talk about three different types of demons. Three different types of demons in human flesh. See, the thing is, you come to a point where you realize, like, oh, maybe I've come to a point where I realize that there are demons in physical body. Even if you read through the Bible, you will see it all over the Bible. I tell you, go read that fucking Bible. See, the thing is, people read the Bible too literally. They don't have sense, or they read it without spiritual awareness. And when a person reads it when their mind is fucked up, or when they read it and they don't have the spirit of discernment. See, that's one of the gifts that the Holy Spirit has to give you, spirit of discernment. You start to understand how to read that Bible and it starts to make sense. You know, it starts to make sense. For example, if you read the whole Genesis, you will notice that something happens twice in Genesis. Twice. Something. I'm not going to tell you what. If you read Genesis, you'll notice that there's something very important that happens twice that we think happens only once. So, and of course, a small minded person will say, oh, that's because it doesn't make sense, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. They're stupid. Um, but I want to talk about the no, maybe I shouldn't be calling people stupid. I'm really trying, guys. I'm trying. But I want to talk about the three different types of spirits, the three different types of demons that you will meet a lot, especially in the spiritual community. And I have met that. I have met them. But even maybe just in life, uh, just in life, just in life, there might be situations like that that you meet with just real life human beings. Okay, so one of them is the beggar spirit. The beggar spirit is a person that is always begging. They're always begging, and of course, because they're always begging, they're always humble. And by humble, I mean they're always seeming humble. Not that they're actually humble, but they're always seeming humble because they know that that's a form of manipulation. When they put themselves in a place where they're, even with child readers or other spiritualists that you watch, and yes, I do the thing too where I'm like, oh, poor me, things are happening to me, but I don't do it half as much as some people do. Pay attention to those people, the beggar spirit. I'm calling it the beggar spirit. I would call it a sociopath, but that's just me. So I would just call it the beggar spirit to be polite. People that always seem to be in the middle of a crisis, in their life, and someone is always doing something to them, and life is just always so unfair, and oh my God, they're always in pain, and oh my God, oh my God, they've just been through so much. I mean, I've been through a lot in my life. I have been through a lot in my life. I have survived death a few times. And I talk about it on my channel and I talk about it passively, but everything I talk about doesn't revolve around that. It's not always about, look at my pain, look at my wounding, look at my wounding, look at my wounding. Oh my God, poor me. Life is unfair. Why does nobody treat me right? And then they go around and they treat people like shit, and then, but they expect everybody to treat them right. A lot of those people generally those things because they have that's a demon, and that's another thing we need to keep in mind. Demons are not always as above so below. Keep that in mind, as above so below. A lot of times when we think about demons, we think about these, two horned beings that are coming. No, sometimes demons possess a person, and that person becomes a demon. They become the vessel of that spirit. And so, in everything that they do, they will always have that spirit. Some people are possessed by that beggar spirit. So, because they have that beggar spirit, they're always begging. They're always looking for a handout. They're always looking for people to treat them fairly and to be nice to them and blah, 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 blah. Even though they treat people like shit and even though they do horrible things to people, there's always an excuse for their behavior, but nobody else is allowed to have an excuse for their behavior. And then they'll go and work magic against the person and they know what they've done, but they will never balls up to apologize. Heads on the platter, heads on the platter, heads on the platter. That's all I gotta say at this point. And then let's talk now about that. Uh, so we've handled the beggar spirit. Let's talk now about the Jezebel spirit. Jezebel spirit is the kind of person that likes control. They love control. And you'll notice this again just in your life, you might see this. That's what some people might call a narcissist. They love control. They love to have you under their thumb. They love to feel like they love you to be the you. They love. They want you to be. They want you to be at their beck and call. They want you to be on the floor for them. They want you. You know, when you're giving them attention, they'll act like when they have you. They'll treat you like shit. You know, when they have you under their thumb, they'll treat you like shit. You know, belittle you, break your spirit. You know, and they know exactly what they're doing. The Jezebel spirit is a narcissist. She always knows what she's doing. And they'll break your spirit and do all of that. And then as soon as they realize that you've disconnected from them, then they'll become very nice, very sweet, you know, love bomb you. That's a very known trait of a narcissist. Love bombing. Oh my God, I love you. Oh my God, I'd watched Boko Emera. I don't know if you guys know him, but Boko Emera, he made a video a few days ago, and he was saying, and the video is titled "On Your Road to Success." Because it's something like, "On your road to success, be careful of nothing as bitches and nothing as niggas." He said it. And it made me laugh because I was watching that shit. I was like, you better preach, bro. Even though he has his own things, but I was like, you better preach, bro. Because I do believe that God will use whoever he needs to use to get a message across to you. You know, be mindful because the Jezebel spirit, once they see that you have a one up on them or they notice, because at first they'll recognize it. They'll recognize that you have something that they simply don't have. And then when it will get to a point where when they notice that you started to realize that you have something that they don't have, then they will try to switch the my camera is changing colors again. I find that very interesting. They will try to switch the conversation and try to switch the energy and make it seem like, oh, I was mistaken and Boko Mara said it, be mindful of people that come to you that do not see your vision, but when you start to progress in life, they want to participate because those people would have not been there had you not take that path and walk. And actually, some of them would actually try to break you down so you don't get to that place. And they'll find, of course, of course, with all demons, they won't actually say, I'm a demonic being. The human beings themselves don't even realize it, but I see so clearly. Mercury moves closer to the sun. Saturn moves furthest from the sun. I see clearly. So that's a Jezebel spirit. A Jezebel spirit loves to have control. A Jezebel spirit is very good at illusions, manipulating, shape shifting, becoming something else. Very dark. One of the most dangerous spirits. Actually, one of the most dangerous. I'm not that worried because Mercury moves closer to the sun. Get too close and you just might get burned. And that's how I am. So Mercury moves closer to the sun. But that Jezebel spirit usually somewhere closer to Saturn energy because it's furthest away from the sun, furthest away from the light, very miserable. And the sad thing is, you will notice with people that have these demons in them, they tend to be very, very miserable. Guys, be careful of miserable people. Be careful of miserable people. Because, especially we Virgos, and that's not saying that there are no Virgos that are narcissists, trust me, they are. Um, But we Virgos, we tend to fall into that trap of wanting to be the savior. Jesus Christ is a Virgo. A lot of people don't know this. Go YouTube it. The whole Bible is an astrology chart. A lot of you don't realize that. But go YouTube it. Jesus Christ is a Virgo. Okay. So, and if you look at the season when he was born, based on the description, his parents traveling, there's no way they could have been traveling in the season that is December 25th, even in Jerusalem. There's no way they could have been doing that, in the deserts. It gets really cold in the deserts. People don't know that. So the belief system is actually that Jesus Christ was actually born somewhere around the summer or around the end of the summer. And some people have narrowed it down to actually it. A lot of theologists, a lot of biblical theologists actually believe that Jesus Christ is a Virgo. You can go YouTube and look it up. There's a reason Jesus Christ is a Virgo, and there's a reason. And I always tell you guys, there's a reason Virgos make about 75 to 80% of tarot readers on YouTube. Some people are just more connected to the spirit realm and we can see clearly, even though people try to cast illusions in front of our eyes or we see them clearly. They think we don't got them, but we got them. Hands on the platter, hands on the platter, hands on the platter, hands on the platter. Okay. Ooh. I wonder what Jezebel, or should I say the whore of Babylon, I wonder when Yesu is going to strike that tower that she's building. You know, the Babylonian tower they were trying to build into heaven, thinking that they were going to get there. I wonder when Yesu is going to strike that tower down, just bring the whole thing down. Jezebel could use some humility, couldn't she? Anyways. And then, so now we've dealt with the beggar spirit, who is always in a crisis and always people are doing so bad to them and always so broken, just so broken, just so broken, just so broken, always broken, always broken. There's always an excuse. Oh, poor me. Oh, my life sucks. Oh, my God, I didn't have this. Oh, my God, I didn't have that. Some of us didn't have it too. Some of us grew up worse. You grew up in one house. Some of us lived like foster children, moving from city to city. Some of us almost died of starvation at young ages. You had a roof and this is not about comparing pain. It's not about comparing pain, but when a person is constantly saying that, oh, I never had this, I never had that, it's kind of impossible not to want to compare pain because then you're like, well, but I went through this too, and I went through that too, and I went through this too, and I went through that too, and you don't know how the shit that I've been through, right? So be careful of that beggar spirit, and that person is always going to need your help. And they're never going to want to pay you what you deserve. And then when you decide not to help them because they feel like your help, your heart, your love, your sincerity is a right, they feel like it's a right that they got to have that right, you know, then when you don't give it to them, then they become very, vindictive. And that's really all it is. It's not, it's just jealousy and vindictiveness. They won't say it. They will say it's because you did this or you did that or that did that. They won't talk about how you gave them 50 hours of your time and how you helped them when they were starving or how you provided a house for them when they were homeless. They'll always try to narrow it down to how you treated them so poorly because essentially what they're trying to do is break your spirit, right? So they'll never want to give you credit for anything. They'll want to break you down. So obviously they'll have to remind you of how worthless you are and when they do that, it's really about them. They are trying not to feel worthless about themselves, so they'll try to project it on you. Be mindful of that beggar spirit. The beggar spirit is more dangerous than the Jezebel spirit because the beggar spirit, it warms its way in. It's always very meek and calm and oh my God, you're so awesome. Because the beggar, remember, the beggar is always humble. When you meet the beggar is always humble. The beggar doesn't come up to you like, yo, bitch, give me your money. No, 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 no. The beggar is, oh my God, you're so nice. Oh my God, I have so much love for you. Oh my God, you're so peaceful. Oh my God, you're everything. Oh my God, look at you. That's how the beggar spirit works. It's never gonna be, right up the bat. It's never gonna be like, oh, yo, give me my money. No, it's more like, oh my God, what will I be without you? How can I live without you? You're so awesome. Beggar spirit, be very careful. And the beggar spirit, when you don't give it what it wants, will turn now into the accusing spirit, where it's now like, you owe me this. You owe me your time. You owe me your money. You owe me your energy. You owe me forgiveness. You owe me everything under the sun. Even though they don't want to change, because you see, the thing with a beggar spirit is that a beggar spirit loves to be a beggar. Do you guys remember when I told you guys that I was in this was months ago that this has happened, and it's funny how God pieces things together. But I was in Jack in the Box near my apartment, and there was a beggar that I come in, and he had sat by me, and we're talking, and he wanted to use my phone or whatever, whatever. And then a white guy pulls over. He was a white guy, and then another white guy pulls over. With because I used to go upload videos there. I've already shared that with you guys. Even if you go to my communities, you see there's a post I'd made when I was sitting out on the balcony on the floor, and it was raining. And even the guy that I'd cursed, the manager, and I'd made him lose his job because I was sitting there. I wasn't doing nothing to nobody. I was minding my business, uploading my videos. I'd bought food because every time I go there, I usually buy food for the homeless people that are around there. I don't don't like that I said that though. But I don't like that I said that, but I'm trying to paint a picture because that's actually what got me. Because generally I'll be there for about 4 or 5 hours, and because I'm uploading videos to YouTube, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for my thing to upload, and I'm going one after the other, using their Wi-Fi. When my Wi-Fi in this apartment is shitty. Even now, my AT&T box is down. I had to call Cricket and get the unlimited plan just so that I could use my phone in peace. And I was sitting there and I have sleepers on, like bathroom sleepers. And I take my bathroom sleepers on because literally, guys, it's like 2 minutes away from my house. I take my bathroom sleepers off and I put my feet on top of it, not on the table, it's still on the floor. Bathroom sleepers, plastic bathroom sleepers. You know how you can see my toes and everything. I take it out of the little, slings, and I put my foot on it, and then the manager, Latino guy, walks up to me and he's like, "What the fuck?" You know what? He didn't say what the fuck. It's like, "Excuse me, you can't have your feet out. You gotta put them in your slippers." I'm like, "Bro, are you kidding me? You can literally see my toes. You can see practically 99% of my feet, even when I have the slippers on. What is the issue here?" It's like, "Yeah, this is not your home. This is not your home. You gotta go. If you can't wear your slippers, you gotta leave." And then he walks to the back and he turns off the Wi-Fi. I went up there, I caused a scene. Y'all know how I get when I get mad. Ooh, I was threatening. I told him, "Go turn that shit back on, or I promise you I'm going to ruin your life." I fucked his life up. I already paid for it, so I'm not worried about saying it. I already paid for it. That's the thing about when you have light karma. Because even when I was doing all of that, my heart was still pure. It was still sincere. I was still being honest because I didn't do anything wrong. It was his ego. I shouldn't have reacted in the way that I reacted and cursed him, but it was his ego. That was the issue because I am there. I've come in. I'm buying people food. I'm keeping up because I'm gonna be sitting there for 5 hours. And if I can, on one hand, I look at it as killing a bird with two. What does it say? Killing two birds with one stone. I can get the internet that I need. I can service your business, and I can feed people. So why not? I mean, it's not like I was buying them full meals, but I'll give, $5 to this one, $5 to that one. What does that cost me? You know, I was charging what, 100 or something dollars for a reading. I could do that. I could spend 25, $30 and feed a few people and sit there for 5 hours and upload my videos. So yeah, I did curse that man. So I'm not saying this to say that I'm some kind of, holy person, but something I came to realize is that be very careful. There are a lot of demons even in the spiritual community. A lot of them, you watch them sometimes on tarot. Be careful when you start watching a tarot reader and your spirit does not sit well with them. Leave. Don't sit there and argue them on their comments and all that shit. That's stupidity. Just leave. And I'm telling you guys that for real. When you're watching a tarot reader and your spirit does not sit well with them, leave. Even if your spirit sits well with them and you become addicted to them, that's also dangerous. Now, if you love me, that's fine. You can just stay, just stay. Even though I've said I'll close this channel like 100 times, I am planning on closing it, but I'm waiting until because this channel is really the big thing I have now until I get my job and I get moving in life. And again, I know that all those demons are gonna try to block my path, but I don't mind. But I don't mind because we're about to engage in some spiritual warfare very soon. Heads on the platter, heads on the platter, heads on the platter. I keep hearing that in my head and it's just making me laugh because a lot of them, they don't even know that their heads on the platter. My intuition, and I love when that happens because my intuition always kind of tells me that something is gonna happen. Like I remember, do you guys remember? I talked about how there was a Taurus lady that had really disrespected me one time. I'd done her reading. She was a twin flame person, right? One of the twin flame people, and I'd done her reading, and she had come on and said she had reading me back an email and was like, "Oh," she wrote me a long email, y'all. "Oh, you soulmates, you guys just have shits. You guys get together for shits and giggles. We twin flames, you can't understand what we twin flames go through." And I told her everything in that reading, everything. And I was like, "Oh, he's cheating. He's probably gonna get someone pregnant. I'm seeing someone pregnant." All of that, she went right in here. came back, wrote me a long email, cussed me out, right? Of course, politely, because sometimes people think that if they say things nicely, it makes it less venomous. Those are idiots. Sorry. Um, but I went back. I remember when I was doing my taxes, something told me to go, and I looked at the name, and something in my spirit was like, "Go check, go check." I went looking for this bitch. Like I went looking. I was searching like her name, all the names I could think of. I finally found her channel, and guess what she was talking about? Oh, he's a false tweet. He got someone pregnant. I always love how the. I don't even want to say universe. I always love how the Holy Spirit always brings people to me, always tells me to go check up on them when he's done his work. When he loves to vindicate me. Even today, he woke me up and it was like, go check that. Because there's someone I was warning them, this person with a beggar spirit, that I know of. And there are quite a few of them, not just one, but one of them the Holy Spirit was telling me, go check, go check, go check. The past like 3, 4 days, the Holy Spirit has been telling me. And I went and I checked, and of course, the beggar spirit is over there crying as usual. And then not only crying as usual, but the beggar spirit is now talking about, the bloodline curse that I told her was there. I told her was there months ago. She didn't want to listen, of course. Went on ahead and talked shit about me, talked shit about my grandmother, all that shit. And now she's like, oh, my family, bad bloodline, haunted bloodline, boo hoo 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 hoo, boo hoo 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 hoo. Beggar spirit, accusing spirit. But, anyways, so we've done beggar spirit, who turns into accusing spirit later. Check. We've done, and won't admit that they've tried to curse me and it failed badly and it's about to backfire real hard on their asses. But that's talk for another day. Trying to ruin me, your whole family's gonna get ruined. But that's okay. That's what you signed up for. I'm not the one making that judgment call. So we got that checked. Let's push it to the other side. Now we also got what is this other one? The Jezebel Spirit. Check. Move it to this way. And then let's talk also about, and all of those are spiritual vampires. They feed on your energy. They feed on your energy. The Jezebel Spirit, also be mindful of people that lead with money. Because if they lead with money, they talk a lot about how nice their life is, how much they got, and they're always leading with money. People that lead with money, a lot of people can say, well, if you got it, flaunt it. I believe in that. But people that lead with money usually is because they don't have anything of value to give. They don't have anything of value to give. They don't have any opinions that really, like, they don't have anything that, a lot of those people will come to find that most of them, they don't have friends. And not even that they don't have friends, most people won't even like to be around them because the Jezebel spirit is usually narcissistic. Jezebel loves nice things. She loves to steal people's things, steal their luck. Very big thing with Jezebel spirit. She loves to steal people's luck. Loves to steal people's luck. She always wants what someone else has, and if she feels like, and that's the thing with those demons, you always be competition to you when they see your light, you know. But the Jezebel spirit loves to steal people's luck and would like to attach herself to luck, even if it's through some kind of, who doesn't want to do the work, doesn't want to work with you through a process, but loves to come in when you're doing the work or when you've broken free and then attach themselves and make 150 million excuses of why they couldn't be there. It's a demon, guys. Be aware that there are demons, and they themselves, I don't even think they know that they're infested. One of them I know knows, the other one I don't think she knows, but the poor thing is just so broken at this point. What do you do? And that's another thing. You can't save everybody. Don't try to save everybody. Don't try to save everybody. Even the people that don't think they need saving, but it's not your place to save them. Try your best, and when you see that your best is not good enough for them, keep it moving. And let them, how do they say it? Let the disease eat them from the inside out. Okay, now finally, what else do I want to talk about? I've talked about the Jezebel spirit. Now also be mindful of the Python spirit. Python spirit, some people have a Python spirit. They love to smother you. They love to smother you. The Python spirit loves to smother. The Python spirit might be a person, again, love bombing. Be mindful, guys, of love bombing. Sociopaths, narcissists, uh, whatever you want to call them, they are very good at love bombing people. They will give you so much love when you just meet them. Well, generally, Jezebel will not give you love. Jezebel will ask you to meet her on her level, but then will be not on the right level to stand firm. So be very mindful of people that love bomb you, people that you meet and then they fall in love with you so suddenly. Be very mindful of that. It's one thing. I mean, of course, when you're like me that is doing YouTube, it's not always so clear because there are people that have been following me for years. So if I talk to them, sometimes it might feel like I've known them for forever, or they might feel like they've known me forever. So they might love bomb me in that way. But I'm becoming very keen on my spirit of discernment. My antenna is sharpening up so sharp, and I'm picking up all the vibes and the little snarky things that are being said and the little passive aggressive ways about it. And I'm becoming very aware of knowing what I'm looking at. I've gotten so good at being able to see clearly what I'm looking at, even though they like to cast illusions. Because you see, demons are ugly. They're ugly. In order for them to be beautiful, they have to cast illusions. And either it's an illusion of poverty, an illusion of help, an illusion of, by poverty and help, I mean like that beggar energy, or an illusion of wealth and abundance, like the Jezebel energy. They're very, or sex, always showing their body, more than anything else. Jezebel Spirit is very good at that. And then you got now what is this one called? God damn it. The Python spirit. Pythons don't bite you. It's not a quick death. A Python spirit does not bite you. It's not a strike. The Python spirit takes its time. It wraps around you. First of all, it makes sure that you're comfortable with it. And it's funny because I always think about this story of a man who, you know, took out a snake, found a snake, took out it, blah blah blah, and every day the snake would come and lay next to it, and they didn't know that the snake was measuring. It's like a little folklore story. It's measuring the person to see how big the person gets before it swallows the person. That kind of stuff. Um, but that's how a Python spirit works. First of all, the Python spirit will love bombing. Of course, one of the biggest ways that narcissists start is by love bombing, or sickos, or sociopaths, or psychopaths. They start by love bombing you. So, but most of them will be sociopaths more than psychopaths. Um, so and that's the danger of marrying someone after you've known them for 3 weeks or 3 months, or no, you want to see these traits because it takes a while, but it comes out. Trust me, everybody shows your ass eventually. Everybody shows your ass eventually. So the Python spirit will love bomb you at first and then start to feed on you. It will wrap itself around you slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly, and it's feeding on you. It's feeding on you. It knows exactly what it's doing. It will make it in a way. And one thing about all these spirits is that they want you to be completely dependent on them. They don't want you to have anybody else in your life. They don't want you to have, nothing else. They love to control and manipulate because, again, demons are very good at illusions. They have to cast illusions so that you don't see their ugliness, but I see clearly. I hear the demons talking through them when they open their mouth. I hear the demons, even though they try to hide it, and you hear that shit very clearly. So the Python suite will wrap itself around you. It's kind of how when you meet a person, and again, a Python spirit might be very good, again, very strong sociopath, very strong narcissist. But the Python spirit is more of a covert narcissist. There are those that are overt narcissists, and then there are those that are covert narcissists. Because the Python spirit will first of all make it so that you become completely reliant on them. You become completely dependent on them. You look at them like your knight in shining armor, your everything, the one that you gotta have in your life, the one that means the most to you, the only one person in this world that cares about you. They might even try to start separating, and the more they wrap themselves around you, you might start to notice that other people will start to tell you, like, okay, you guys are getting an unhealthy attachment. That's how, when your friends start to tell you that you're getting an unhealthy attachment to somebody, that's one of the first signs to know that there's a Python spirit in your energy. When your friends start to tell you, because that Python spirit will wrap itself around you, it binds you. It will be a situation where they don't want you to hang out with your other friends, they don't want you to talk to other people, or they want your time constantly. You guys could be on the phone for hours, or they want to be with you every time, every moment of the day, that kind of thing. Python spirits will wrap themselves around you very conscious, and they know what they're doing, and they'll try to make it so that And a lot of times it might even be very helpful because they want you to be completely dependent on them, hanging on their every word. And then when it's got you, it's like, I got you. And then it starts to swallow you whole, swallow you whole, swallow you whole, swallow you whole. And then you wake up one day and you're like, why am I in all this darkness? That's because you're sitting in the python spirit's belly, bitch. You're sitting in his belly. It don't swallow you. You're not Job in the whale's belly. No, you're dumb fuck. Sorry, you're dumb. You're kind of sort of stupid in the shadow being's belly, in the python spirit's belly, smelling all the toxic gases and all the toxic fumes and all that of all the things it's eating and all the rotten things. But the thing again is that pay attention. When you have a spirit of discernment, you start to pick up on certain things because these spirits are very impatient and they are very, 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 very bad at losing. And they're very, 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 very stuck on the illusion that they're trying to feed you. Whether they know it or not, they have an illusion that they're trying to feed you. And that illusion is how they're going to hook you, whether it's through money, whether it's through pity, whether it's through love bombing you and making you completely dependent on them and completely, everything they say has to go, or every way that they think has to go, or, that kind of thing. Or, even if it's not that way, because when they're love bombing, it won't be that way, but they'll leave little narcissistic remarks, make little things, throw little swords and knives and spears. So you start to really notice these things. Those of you that are going to the tarot business, those of you that are going to the spiritism business, I suggest you keep very, very few friends and make sure that most of your friends are not in the spirit business. Trust me, you don't want a lot of people that are heavy into spiritism when you're doing spiritual work. You don't want a lot of people that are into heavy. There's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of envy, a lot of envy. And because a lot of them, they will feel like what you got. And that's again something Bokoli or not have discussed. I don't know why. Not the universe, Yesu, Holy Spirit, told me to go check his channel very recently. And I went and I watched a lot of the videos. And of course, on this channel, we'll always give credit where credit is due. I may not be his biggest fan because there are certain things that he says that I don't agree with, but you gotta recognize common sense or spiritual knowledge or awareness or a sense of awareness when you see it. And he is. There's kind of that thing about, how they say there are some people that are very book smart but are very stupid. Some people are street smart, and really the streets is where it's at. The streets is where it's at. And I consider myself a very street smart person, but I just have a golden heart. Oh, poor Eugene. Oh, fuck that. God got me. That's all I need at this point. God got me. God got me. That's all I need at this point. But so yeah, those are three spirits that we meet. You're most likely gonna encounter them several times in your life. Be very mindful of those three spirits. One thing they'll have in common, all of them, is that they're very good at illusions, shape shifting. They're very good at painting a picture or an image. They're very good at playing the victim. They're very, and one thing they also all have in common is that they want you more than you want them. But they will make you think you want them more than they want you because that's what, when they get you attached, it's like an addiction, right? You keep going back for more, you keep going back for more, you keep going back for more. You have to be very careful of the python spirit. Be very, very careful of the Jezebel spirit. That's the most dangerous of them. Jezebel spirit. It's the most dangerous as far as viciousness. The Jezebel spirit. The python spirit is very dangerous because it plays on your love. It plays on your vulnerability. See, the beggar spirit, which turns into accusing spirit, so beggar/accusing spirit, it plays on its own. The python spirit plays on your vulnerability. Well, they'll all play on your vulnerability, but let's say the python spirit will play on your weakness or your brokenness. The Beggar Spirit will play on their brokenness and their weakness so that you become the one that gives pity. So you see how it's kind of like an opposite thing between the Python Spirit and the Beggar Spirit. The Beggar Spirit comes in, I'm broken. You need to help me. Blah, 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 blah. You're the only one that can. You're the only one that can save me. I love you so much. You are so important to me. Beggar Spirit. Python Spirit, however, will come in, oh my God, you're broken. I need to help you. I'm going to be your savior. I'm going to be your saving grace. Make you completely codependent on them. Jezebel Spirit, on the other hand, will try to challenge you. It will constantly, it will set some unrealistic expectations for you to reach. And the reason it's setting it is they're not unrealistic per se, but it's setting expectation for you to reach. And then when you take a moment and you look back and you're like, but why am I even trying to reach this person's expectations? Who the fuck are you? You know, and you start to see through the flaw. And when they see that you've clocked them, they'll try to, become very careful about how they do it. Very dangerous spirit. The Jezebel spirit is the most vicious, but is the most overt narcissist. The other two are very, I would say, the Jezebel spirit is overt narcissist. The Python spirit is covert narcissist, and the Beggar spirit is sociopath. Be very careful.